Which way, Western man? Which way? We will delve into what I mean by that in a second. But welcome to episode 1 of Trad West Podcast. I was going to start recording a little sooner, but then I thought 4th of July is coming up. What better way than to start the content creating avenue that I decided to go down with some American pride on one of the best holidays in this country. So I hope you're all having a great 4th of July weekend, some much needed time off from work, grilling, seeing family, drinking some ice cold brews. Because no matter what you think of this country, it is still a pretty awesome place and probably the best country out there. Now, hopefully, for years to come. And I say hopefully because it seems like there's some powers that be that want to destroy this once great nation. And that's why I've decided to join in the culture war by creating this channel. The purpose of this channel is going to be to promote traditional family values, two-parent households, nuclear family, and push back against degeneracy that seems to be what is promoted in society today. Now, I'm not going to sit up here like a hypocrite and act like I'm always been a perfect angel, 100% traditional. I'm not even what I would call 100% traditional today. I just see the writing on the wall and do not like where this country is headed. And I don't get why there's an attack on family. They don't want people getting married, they don't want people having children. We're going to talk a lot of shit on feminism on this channel because it's anti family, it's selfish. And then I'll also talk shit on some of the red pill community because I don't like their prescriptions to fight feminism either. I'll do that on a later episode, but they're both inherently selfish. So, which way, Western man? Are you going to continue down the path of degeneracy? That is, hookup culture, OnlyFans, pornography, child sex changes, hormone blockers to children, pornographic material, books, and school libraries. Yes, it's happening, people. Feminism is a big problem too. But don't worry, I'm going to piss off people from all walks of life on this channel. I don't identify with any one political party. I'll probably get pretty political, though, considering politics is downstream from culture. I grew up in a conservative household. As I've gotten older, I've adopted a lot of libertarian views. I argue with my parents on a lot of things. So I do not consider myself a conservative, though I would lean more right in a lot of cases. But if you're not batshit crazy far left today, they call you far right anyways. So I'm going to be called far right. I say I'll piss off conservatives too because I pissed my parents off several weeks ago talking shit on their idol, Ronald Reagan. He's an idol for conservatives everywhere. And it was before my time, so maybe he did an overall net positive. But a lot of the problems we have today, divorce rate through the roof, anti family, women are incentivized to get a divorce. I think that all stems and starts with Ronald Reagan signing no fault divorce into law. And I believe it was 1969 when he was governor of California. Probably some selfish intentions because lo and behold, Ronald Reagan ended up being the first sitting president in the United States to ever get a divorce. Is he making laws so that he can benefit and get a divorce? In my perfect world, we get rid of no fault divorce, but the next episode I do will probably be specifically on no fault divorce, so I won't go off too much on that. But where I think a lot of normies, as I'd call them, might connect with what I'm talking about on this channel is because I really think I'm just talking about bringing back some normalcy. And it starts with the kids. I myself do not have children yet, but I know parents will move heaven and earth to protect their children. And these sick, crazy, left lunatics, for some reason, have children in the crosshairs. And that's where people are finally starting to speak out and have issue. If you support child sex changes, hormone blockers to children, you are a degenerate. And I've had something pulled up here about the different books that were found. Let me pull it up here. These books that are found, and it was originally found in like a Florida school, actually, until Ron DeSantis got word. And of course, it's happening in California, California. What would you expect? But this is crazy, and it's a shame that it had to get to this point for people to wake up. But I'm glad people are waking up. Because I'm no prude, okay? I got no problem with homosexuals, LGBT community. They added so many letters to that. That's where I'm going to stop. You know, the B stands for bisexual, though. So that would insinuate only two genders. But let me just read off a couple of these books that were found in state schools. And you tell me if you think it's appropriate. If this is where adults are, don't care. Me and my fiance have many gay friends. After a night out at a concert, we've gone to a gay bar. We've had a blast. A good time. There's no children allowed there. It's 21 and up. Leave the children alone. Shame on the parents that are bringing the children to these pride events and that, where grown men literally have their penises out. So it starts with the parents, of course. But that's just unacceptable to be showing this stuff to children. All right, first book, Gender Queer, a memoir. An explicitly pornographic book showing sex acts and marketed for grades 7 through 12. Now, I'm sorry. Call me old fashioned. I think parents should be the ones teaching their children about sex ed, not some school teacher, not the state. And you can say like 12th grade, they're up there and there. You're in high school. Okay. I still don't think you need to be showing that in schools. But grade school, 7th, I mean, I was a bit of a late bloomer compared to some people coming from a conservative household, but come on. Come on. We had sex ed in my Catholic school. I went to Catholic school my whole life. We had sex ed and like starting in like 4th or 5th grade, but it was very baseline and basic back then. And I can't remember if you had to get something signed saying it was okay. I want to say you had to get permission slip like from your parents saying it was okay. Don't quote me on that though. I don't fully remember. Now, I've always been an open book. Anything I was being taught in school, I'd go home and like tell my parents about it. But there's a lot of kids who won't speak up, and especially when it's about this type of stuff because they feel uncomfortable or weird. Second book, Flamer, a graphic book about young boys engaging in various sexual acts at summer camp. Inappropriate. I was a Boy Scout all my life. There was none of that stuff going on to my knowledge. But if they're reading books like this, it might encourage them to start doing some weird shit at summer camp. This book is gay. A book containing instructions on the ins and outs of gay sex. Again, no hate on the gay community, but kids don't need to be learning it. And the final book that's listed here, let's talk about it. A book that contains graphic depictions about how to masturbate for males and females, as well as encouraging youth to use the internet to talk to strangers about sex. Now, I know there's certain words, especially if I put this on YouTube, that might get me in trouble. So we'll call them PDF files, but you know what I'm talking about. So this is just encouraging that type of behavior. Epstein didn't kill himself. Throw that one out there. So these are allowed in some schools, but everybody was up in arms about, I believe it was Louisiana, saying they were going to start showing the 10 Commandments in classrooms. And people were up in arms, enraged. Now, as I said, I'm not overly religious. I don't attend church every Sunday. And I went to Catholic school my whole life, but it's been a while since I've looked at the 10 Commandments. So let me pull that up too. Let me go over these. Because I'm pretty sure, take religion out of it. I'm pretty sure the 10 Commandments is not exactly something bad that children should not see. So would it be okay if we just listed them and we didn't say, like, these are the 10 Commandments? I would like someone in the comments to give me a good sound argument on what is bad about kids seeing things that are in the 10 Commandments, other than the fact it's religious, so you don't like it. Atheists, weirdos. You don't have to like religion to realize it can teach some good foundational morals. I think it's very important to be involved in a children's life. Like, I went to Catholic school my whole life. I think that and good parenting gave me a baseline, foundational starting point on good morals and values. So if I have kids, religion is going to be in their life when they're young. And then as they get older, they can make that decision on their own. As I said, I don't practice religion. Religious people make fun of me because I usually say, I have a spirituality to me. Just don't feel I belong to any one type of church. I feel my most connected when I'm out in nature. And if you do truly believe in the creator, that makes perfect sense. You're out in what was created. I feel my most at peace when I'm out in my deer stand, when I'm out on the boat fishing, just sitting out on the front porch, watching the neighbors' cows, watching the hummingbirds come to the hummingbird feeders. That's when I feel my most connected. Not knocking religion, not knocking church. It's great for community. And human beings are social beings. So community is important. But let's go over these 10 commandments. I am the Lord. Okay, the first few mention like Lord and God. So I get if you're like an atheist, you might have issue. But okay. I am the Lord your God. You shall not have strange gods before me. Then 2, you shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. Remember to keep holy the Lord's day. Okay, then starting at 4. Would you be happy if we just cut out the first 3? Because the next ones are like just good baseline morals and values. Number 4 is honor your mother and your father. Pretty good thing for a kid to learn. You shall not kill. Pretty good thing to know. You shall not commit adultery. I know that's, something a lot of people do these days, but again, it's good to teach people not to do that. You shall not steal. Good. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. Good. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife. Good. You shall not covet your neighbor's goods. That one's via the Catholic Church there. So 4 through 10 seem like pretty reasonable, just good morals and values that people should be taught. And we're throwing more of a fit over that being in schools than all of these pornographic books that are in schools. Genderqueer, Flamer, this book is gay, let's talk about it. Those are far worse for a kid to see. And again, I'm no prude. Just leave the kids out of it. Is that too much to ask? So, purpose of this channel, I want to promote traditional family values, morals, 2-parent households, nuclear family. It is the backbone of a thriving society. Not many people can argue against it. Even those that are in the red pill community on the internet that don't practice this and that are warning men not to get married because it is a big liability for men these days. And I get it, and I do agree. However, I don't agree with the prescription of not getting married. We still need to be teaching men and women to get married and have children. We are below replacement level. Leftists aren't having kids. They believe in abortion, birth control, climate change. There's overpopulated, so don't have kids. So they're not having kids. That's why I'm optimistic that it is fixable. It just might be a long-term fix. Because if one side's preaching all this, but they're not having children, and right now it's mainly the religious people that are still having children, then the problem will fix itself over time. And now let me, because conservatives are going to say, well, they're indoctrinating kids in schools, though. I agree they're trying. But if you did your part as a parent and brought your kid up with good morals and values, it's going to be less likely that they can be brainwashed and manipulated in school. Particularly, you're talking college. Going off on tangent here, but college actually made me more pro-life. I'll tell you the exact moment because Yes, I'm from a family that is super pro-life, but I've changed my mind several times on it. Just because the libertarian parts of me are like, "Hey, as long as you're not harming me, what do I care?" And, some of these people don't need to be procreating, so maybe it's best that they did. But then I believe it might have been an ethics class in college. There was a scenario that was presented. A woman was pregnant, so her and her husband were told that this baby was most likely going to be born with Down syndrome. So, long story short, they had to decide if they were going to keep the baby or abort it. I was waiting for more to be involved in this story because I did not think your baby being born with Down syndrome would be a reason you would be able to get an abortion. Because when the left claims abortions are only happening when the mother's life is in danger, that's why I've stopped believing anything they even say. Now, this hit home to me in this story. The couple decided to abort it. So I think it was the ethics class because you had to decide if that was ethical or not. This honestly brought a tear to my eye because I have worked numerous Special Olympics events. Having been on the football team in high school, we did some. When I was in the military, we did some Special Olympics events. And my athlete that was assigned to me had Down syndrome. And I've just known people with Down syndrome throughout my life as well. And that broke my heart to hear that just because this child might be born with Down syndrome, that you could just end its life. Because yes, I wouldn't sit here and pray for my child to have Down syndrome. But have you ever met someone with Down syndrome? They are the sweetest, most caring, and kind human beings with huge hearts. And you're telling me their life is meaningless and worthless if you can just decide, nope, abort it. So college made me more pro life. But guess what, parents? That's because the household I was raised in and the religion in my life at the time gave me a good baseline of morals and values. So I was not so easily going to be manipulated. So this is partially on you, parents, if your child goes off to college and gets brainwashed. And for the younger ages, I think homeschooling should be a strong consideration for people today. This is where I'll attack feminism that tries to talk shit on women for being homemakers and staying in the home. They have no problem with a woman going off and slaving away in the corporate world for men that care nothing about them. But the second you tell them to stay at home and serve their family, a man who loves and cares about them, her husband, it's somehow demonized and evil and unacceptable. When you raising those children, you're raising the next generation in society. That is very important. That is far more important than your stupid HR job at some corporate office. And that is what pisses me off about these feminists. They try to shame women for being stay at home mothers. You should want to be with your children when they're at a young age as much as possible. And the fact that we were all lied to and convinced to both work and slave away for some corporations that don't care about you and send your kids off to be molded by complete strangers, whether it be daycare, school, for 8+ hours a day, rather than them being at home learning all of your worldviews, values, and morals. That's messed up. So I would strongly recommend, if you're in position to do so, homeschool your children. I'm pretty sure what I hear about a lot of people that homeschool their children too, they're far ahead of other children their age. And you can still have your children involved in like sports and stuff, as long if you want to keep them socialized. So now we'll get back to, you know, what needs to be promoted in society. I mentioned hookup culture earlier being in degeneracy. Not going to act like I didn't participate in hookup culture at one point. I'll tell you, it didn't do much for me. It was not something that was like super fun and enjoyable. But men, we need to stop thinking it's a flex based on how many women we sleep with. And I'll probably have a future episode on hookup culture, so I won't delve too much into it. But men, we need to be telling these 304s no. Men don't say no, and that's why these women act the way they do. Especially if they're super pretty. Most of them have never been told no in their life. It is a bigger flex to tell a girl no than to just go sleep with them. And we got a lot of incel simps out there. That's why OnlyFans is even a viable career for women. So as much as I'll hate on girls going into the OnlyFans profession, racking up quadruple my body count, and they're only like 18 years old. Degenerate. But they wouldn't be able to do that if you simpy incels weren't paying for their subscriptions. So, L men, that's on you, men. Stop spending money on these girls. Then they can either get a real job, contribute to society, or contribute as raising the next generation in the home. And men, you're an incel who's doing this. You most likely are socially awkward, anxious, depressed. Start working out. People will roll their eyes. I'm telling you. Once I started working out, lifting weights, my confidence went through the roof. And it's not just all about physical appearance. The mental benefits of working out are amazing. And if you could just put that all in a pill, everyone would be in line at the pharmacy taking that pill. But because you have to put in some effort to go for a run or lift a heavy thing, people are lazy and don't do it. So I'll probably have plenty episodes on working out, things you can do. If you're someone who's really out of shape, start with walking. Walking works. Walk for 30 minutes a day. And a quick little thing, you work in an office. I still do this. Right now, I'm doing bodyweight squats. Every hour, I stand up from my desk and I do 10 bodyweight squats. It used to be push-ups, but I could use some work on my legs. So it gets you up. You don't have to leave your workstation. Gets the blood flowing. You'll probably be more focused. And if you're working in like a big corporate office where there's a bunch of people, It's probably going to be a good social thing. You might engage in conversation with someone you never did before. More people will want to join. Don't let people shame you. People can take smoke breaks, but you can't take a little fitness break. I guarantee it would improve production of workers. So it can be something as simple as that to start. You don't have to be super gym bro. Now, I was super gym bro for several years. I was single, working 12-hour shifts. So outside of work, the gym was my life. But you don't have to be that way. I still work out regularly, but my workouts are very quick. I got a home gym in the basement, and then I go for walks with the dogs for cardio. Eating better, also very important. Big food industry just poisoning us with crappy foods. Limit alcohol. Nothing wrong with it. I know people might hate on it and say don't drink at all. I'm no prude. Everything in moderation. I believe in having fun as well as looking good and taking care of yourself. So, just in moderation. Find a purpose. I mean, working out can be that, but like I said, we're social beings. That's why people do flock to religion. It's a community. So if you're someone that doesn't really have many friends, no community, religion can be very good for you. Even if you may not necessarily believe, you'll probably meet some genuine good people at a local church. So we need to be promoting marriage and children. Now, don't get this twisted. That's not what I'm prescribing for everyone. Everyone's different. And maybe unpopular opinion to others that bash feminism, I'm not saying feminism has no place in society. Because there are women who don't want to get married and don't want to have kids and are very career oriented. That's cool. Feminism is for those women. But if you're a woman who wants to get married and have children, stop listening to these freaking feminists. It's inherently selfish. It does not go well with marriage and children. And all you climate Nazis that are telling people not to have kids because we're overpopulated, we are not. 20 years from now, if we do not get this birth rate up, we are going to be experiencing many, many issues in society. So all I'm saying is we need to promote marriage and children. We need some incentives from the state because right now they just incentivize like single motherhood and divorce. So that's what needs to be promoted. And I won't delve too much into that. But as I said, the red pillars like to tell guys, don't be getting married. It's just a liability. I agree. But I still think we need to promote marriage and children. We can just be smarter about it. Me and my fiance have been together 8 years. Date each other longer. Truly get to know one another before you give that ring. Live together, because that can be a big culture shock. I know if you're religious, that might not be an option. But religious people tend to be in more successful marriages anyway. The divorce rate is over 50% for first marriages. That's crazy. Now, these numbers are a little skewed because you do have some people that are just like serial divorcers, and they're included in the numbers. Which is no shock to once you get up to like your third marriage, it's over a 70% chance of divorce. There are people who make a living out of getting married and getting divorced. So they do skew the numbers a little bit, but it's still too high. Even if it were like 20 or 30%, that's kind of ridiculous. They've made marriage meaningless. That's why I said we get rid of no-fault divorce in a perfect world. And I would have barriers set up to get married. Because when you can just willy-nilly get married and get divorced, it's made marriage, those vows are meaningless. They mean nothing. Polygamy is getting popular. Polyamorous relationships. They don't work. In most cases, someone eventually catches feelings, somebody gets jealous. And polygamous societies are generally the most unstable societies in the world. That is why you see in so many Muslim countries men so willing to strap bombs to their chests. They're the low totem pole. The guys up here have multiple wives, they have none. They have no meaning, they have no purpose. So they'll just willy-nilly give their lives. So I know I might have laid out a lot of doom and gloom, but like I said, I created this channel because I have a more optimistic viewpoint. It's just not going to be a quick fix. But I'm not black-pilled like a lot of these guys out here telling people it's too late. Feminism's done its damage. There's no going back. There's no fixing things. I don't believe in that. I believe it is fixable. And that is my goal here on this channel. I'm new to content creation, so I'm not sure when I will get this out. Don't know anything about editing. Learning as I go. But I hope you've all enjoyed episode 1. Make sure to give me a like and follow on the various platforms. I'll try to put them on as much as possible. Off the top of my head, YouTube, Rumble, X, Spotify. Content I'm going to create might not be very YouTube and that friendly. So we'll see how long it lasts. We'll see if people take an interest. I don't know if this is going to take off. I didn't want to do this. I'm not somebody who likes to be in the spotlight. I'm a normal Midwestern guy, want to be left alone, but it's getting crazy out there. And because I'm not afraid to speak my mind, I felt I should create a channel, make some content, so I can be a voice for a lot of those people out there that don't want to speak their minds. I like to troll and post some edgy stuff on social media, and I'll have a lot of people that I'm friends with on Facebook and whatnot. They don't like my stuff, but when they see me in private, they're like, "Hey, man, you're the reason I keep my Facebook account. Your stuff's awesome." So I know there's a lot of people out there that feel the same way. They just don't want to come out there. They don't want to be demonized, which I get. Politics has become crazy. One side just hates the other. But that's why I'm hoping to connect with many people because, like I said, I don't belong to any one party. I have my leanings. But it's a shame, even me being an American flag get up right now, without me even saying a word, there's going to be a bunch of people out there that would automatically say, "Oh, far right, extremist, nationalist." So we'll see if this takes off. I'm just trying to bring a little bit of normalcy back to the world, push back against this degeneracy, and protect the kids mainly. If nothing else, can we all agree, leave the kids out of it? So hope you enjoyed it. I'll stop it there. I had to record this a couple times because my camera died the first time, and I think I got that problem fixed now. So let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree. I don't mind responding to the haters and the losers. And let me know if you want any topics you'd like me to cover. I got some later episodes I'm going to do on, no fault divorce, marriage in general, two parent households, feminism and the red pill. That'll be a good one. We might do one on abortion, hormonal birth control, dating apps, hookup culture, and of course, working out. Because I was talking to the men mainly there, because men need to be confident, especially if you're talking in the dating world, trying to attract women. But everyone should work out. I recommend it for everyone. It's mental clarity, it's free therapy, and in a world where we're fed garbage, most of our jobs are sedentary, people are all sad, depressed, especially after, COVID. I feel bad for a lot of people the way that messed them up. Get out there and work out. Go for a run. Go for a walk. Super good mental benefits. So, again, like, comment on all platforms when I decide to post this. But until next time, out.